Stupid piece of shit. Today is May 11th, and we asked you to call in, giving us some trade targets that are logical, reasonable, and within the money window. I'm super excited to hear what you guys gave us. Let's do it. Let's talk some Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY, JOMBOY and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY, JOMBOY and Jake. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY, JOMBOY and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, presented by DraftKings. Thank you very much for joining us today. Episode number 600.
Wow.
That's insane. My name's Jimmy. I got Jake sitting next to me, BBD in the corner. How's everyone doing? Jake, how are you?
James, BBD, 600 episodes in, and, we're a well-oiled machine. The tech monster wrestled us a little bit today. We thank you guys for being patient in the YouTubes. And yeah, excited. I mean, kind of a big series afoot. Haven't got myself excited because Tampa has been such a house of horrors for the Yanks. But 600 episodes is really cool. And I'm excited to see what the people did. We gave the people a little leash today. We don't normally dive into the trade world, but
Usually I'm actively against it.
Usually actively against it, but we figured it would be fun to have a little running midweek. Like, oh, okay, here's the 4 names we're going to track. Oh, they had a good week, and their team's starting to suck. As there rumors, could it actually happen? So excited to see what you guys brought to the table.
Table. Can you please plug my phone in for me? Because I was wrestling my charger cord as well. This episode is brought to you by Sam Bell, Dylan Glanz, Julie Hare, Plasma 188, Chris Price, Andres Martinez, and William Rhine or Rin. It's spelled like Lynn, but my gut told me to say Rhine. But then I was like, but that's how Lynn is spelled, so maybe it's Rin. But Rin, William Rhine or Rin? I don't know.
They used to call you Rin Tin Tin?
Rin Tin, yeah, because I got dog face. It's a great Norm Macdonald joke. Episode 600, I think last episode was the first Talkin' Yanks I've ever not been on. I think I went 500.
When you had COVID, you missed the voicemail episode and Trev filled in.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
missed at
Okay.
least
So I
that
missed
one.
2.
Okay.
So it's only
It's a good hit rate.
It's only 598 for me.
It's a good hit rate. Yeah. So we're not celebrating.
Not
600.
celebrating. Yeah. We'll have to count Jake's true 600 as
This
well.
is my 7th episode that I've been conscious for.
Oh, man. We have a sharp stat. We have the trade voicemails, as you said. We don't know the names. We're going to play them and kind of react to them and look it up. And hopefully we find some names that we think, yeah, that might work, to track them for the next couple weeks and see. Jake, you mentioned Tampa and going to the Trop. And they get, just a little kind of state of the Yankees, I think, is
State
do
of the
it
Yankees.
for a little
New
bit.
segment.
Sure, just how we're feeling,
Orator voice, you think?
I can't do it. Dude, my throat hasn't gotten any better.
State of the Yankees.
Nice. We're in limbo here
Okay.
because they didn't play amazing versus the Nationals, but they won and they had a really good homestand, and they're one of the hottest teams in all of MLB in the last 20 games.
Yeah.
And Glaber's hitting, and Hicks is hitting, and I'm going to count Stanton is still hitting.
Voit comes back.
And Voit comes back, and Gio comes back, and the lineup tonight is going to look as good as we've seen it this season.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of this episode, we can guess the lineup. We'll see how long we get.
Yeah.
But it should be a fun task guessing it with Voit and Gio back in there.
I like that.
So when we see the lineup tonight, we're going to be as high as we've been all year. We're the hottest team. We're one of the hottest teams the last 20 days, and we were full strength, but we're going to the Trop.
Be high as a kite.
We're going to the Trop. And if they can, win this series in the Trop, and not look like they got tropped,
Ooh,
I
okay.
might be like sky high on the team.
Interesting. So
If they don't, I'm going to be kind of not really low because I don't expect them to win in the trap anymore.
Right.
But I'd just kind of be like status quo, like, okay, still need to. But I think my irrational confidence and irrational like love and happiness, which CC got mad at us for the opposite spectrum of fandom. If they like take care of business in the trap with Voit and Gio back in the lineup and Stanton going crazy and the pitching doing well, you may like see a heart bug-eyed giddy me on what is it, Thursday's episode?
I mean, we always see a bug-eyed you. The whole Rin Tin Tin dog face with bug eyes joke.
And
I'll keep my voice down, so we'll save some of your throat because we do have a day coming up.
I know I'm real worried about it.
We'll keep it tame. Jim, I think you just brought me into Jakey Spin Zone, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I was talking ops guy Chris yesterday, and I said spin zone on something, and he just laughed. He's like, "You don't have to spin zone."
Yeah,
having a conversation. So this Rays series, I want to be excited. Luke Voigt's back. The team played really well in the homestand. But I guess I've kind of had that fear of, we are playing Tampa, and it's been a mess. Like, even our white knight, Garrett Cole, like, even they have a formula against him. Like, Garrett Cole doesn't scare the Rays as of right now. But I guess the spin would be, after this we play Baltimore. We feel pretty good going there. And then we play 4 at Texas, and then it's another homestand against some good teams. But
the Rays again, right?
It's at home is going to be Chicago, the White Sox, and Toronto. So a hitting series. And then the Rays come around Memorial Day. But, yeah, I guess...
Dude, fuck the Rays.
It would be awesome to win the series, obviously.
The probables are Luis Patino, TBD, and TBD.
Yeah,
They're already in my head.
They've got...
These motherfuckers.
They've got Fleming and Rich Hill penciled in for the following starts. Rich Hill's actually turned it around. And you never know if they're going to do opener and all of that, and the trop gets in your head. So I guess my concern is, this first game we're going to see something troppy happen. We're going to hit something, and it's just like, we're really back here doing this crap. It would be really cool. Like, I think we could possibly win one this series and say, God, I hate the trop. Let's go to Baltimore and stay hot. I guess that's my spin. Like, you just don't win the series, awesome. Sweep, incredible. We're running super hot. You win one, and you get out of there with your tail still between your legs, and it's like, whatever, I hate the trop. Let's keep it moving to Baltimore.
Yeah, I have that. That's kind of the status quo I'm talking about. But if they win it, and because of that, that's why I'm saying if they win in the trop, I will be, like, almost dumbly sky high on the team.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I don't expect them to.
Let's get sky high.
Facing an opener today. God damn. We'll do that in the pregame show.
Yeah. Tune in.
Yeah, tune in. Let's talk about, first we're going to do Sharp Stats. Katie Sharp called in, and this is brought to you by some new friends we have. Jake, did you just take a drink of your drink?
I did.
Is staying hydrated good?
I love being, you and I, right before we started the show, said how much we like being hydrated. It's because it feels so dumb when you go and it's like 6 p.m. and you're like, oh, I have a headache because I haven't had anything to drink since lunch.
I'm a huge water guy. I drink water all the time. And this company, Hydrant, what they do is they keep you feeling at your best by maximizing your hydration.
We're drinking it right now.
Yeah, hydration can be tied to improved mood, better focus, mental clarity, more energy, clearer skin, and more. Dude, it's so stupid sometimes. Sometimes human health is so stupid. It's so simple. Like, yeah, did you have enough water today? You know how many times my little sister, shots fired at my little sister?
Okay.
She almost died one time in Hawaii because she didn't have enough water. They thought she was ODing on like heavy drugs. Put her in the ambulance, and they were like pulling my mom aside, like, what did she take? My mom was like, nothing. She's 16 years old. We were just at the beach. And my mom had to go like whisper to my sister and be like, hey, what did you take? Turns out she just didn't take enough water.
Water's the big one, man.
Both my sisters and my wife are like not water drinkers, and it blows my mind. Hey,
Beautiful.
I have a hydration tip, and one is to drink Hydrant. Yeah, Hydrant comes in. Hydrant is a refreshing drink. Mix powder made with 4 key electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and zinc. It's made with real fruit juice powder and no artificial sweeteners or synthetic colors. No nonsense, all science. That's my throat hurting from not being hydrated enough. Hydrant Sleep is a new bedtime mix carefully formulated to promote restful sleep and hydration. I do like stuff that helps me
Interested
sleep
in that.
because I need to sleep more.
Get a little
Hydrant,
hydrated before bed.
yeah, Hydrant Sleep includes melatonin, magnesium, L-theanine, GABA. I was going to say GABA, GABA, and chamomile to promote restful, high-quality sleep. I don't know if I said any of those words right. It's backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't love it, send it back for full refund. You really need to try it for yourself to see what I'm talking about. It tastes incredible, and it works. Try Hydrant today and save up 20% on your first order. We're drinking it. We got a bunch of flavors here. I got, what did I have? I got raspberry lemonade, which I like. You got orange. So go to drinkhydrant.com/Yanks. Enter promo code Yanks for 20% off your first order. And you can also subscribe and save 30% off your first subscription order. And then my hydration key, which I think BBD said he heard me say once and now does. Like, you do this?
Yeah, it's one of those things that just stuck with me forever.
It's the best key. I try to tell my sisters and my wife all the time. When your body tells you you're thirsty and you go and you pour yourself a glass of water, chug the whole first half of that glass. Before you even leave the spigot or whatever you poured it from, chug it, then refill it to the top and then sip on that till it's done. Because a lot of people fill it to the top and then they walk away and they sip, and they take like a tiny sip and then they leave it and they don't actually finish it. Just got to chug half right away. Let's go into the sharp stats.
Take a sip, fill it up, put your hydrant in there. You're good.
Hey guys, what's up? It is Katie Sharp calling again for another edition of Sharp Stats. And the first topic I want to discuss here is the Yankees' first base black hole. That's right. It is basically, it's a black hole. You know that we've seen it all this season, and with the news that Voit is probably coming back on Tuesday, which is when you guys are listening to this, hopefully, I just thought I'd put into perspective how terrible the Yankees' first basemen have been this year. So they are currently hitting 150 with a 250 on base percentage and a 244 slugging percentage. That's the lowest batting average of any team's first baseman, the second lowest on base percentage, the second lowest slugging percentage, and their 494 OPS, that's the worst of any team's first baseman. So this is a pretty pathetic situation, just in case you want to look at the culprits. It's DJ with 56 plate appearances, Ford with 45 plate appearances, Bruce, our good old friend, with 39 plate appearances, and Andujar with 4 plate appearances. So even with DJ in there, he's been terrible. The first baseman have been terrible. And I think we can all agree that we will be really, really happy to get Luke Voit back in the fold at first base, assuming that he's healthy and that he can produce like he did last year when, he led the league, the major leagues, in home runs. Love to hear what you guys think. Thanks. See you guys.
So that's not a lot of good stats there. DJ, Ford, Bruce, and Andujar have combined for the lowest batting average, second lowest on base percentage, and second lowest slugging from the first base position.
Not good.
Worst
No.
OPS.
Not good.
But you know what? Like, we've been in this situation before. You can replace DJ, Ford, Bruce, and Andujar with Carter, Bird, Austin, and Choi. And who was the big old savior that came and saved the year in 2018? It was Luke Voit. It was 2018, right?
2018, yeah.
Yeah, Luke Voit. So we've been in this situation.
Yeah.
We've had Voit come be the savior. 19 in 2020, he was good at first base, minus the rusty belly button times.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. It's like, old news. Yeah, no one can play first but Voit. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, we got to the bottom of DJ LeMahieu at first base with my sister on the scouting report there that he's an introvert. He doesn't want to yuck it up.
Too many people talking to him.
Doesn't want to do the pat on the ass, how's your day? That's why he's like second base. He doesn't even like covering second. Tells the shortstop whenever they look over and they cover their mouth with the glove. It's like, you got it.
We have an interview we're doing right after this episode. We should ask that question.
You got it. I take it. Luke Voit has been nothing short of great for the Yankees. He, including the rusty belly button time you referenced, with the Yankees, Luke Voit, 213 games. So a little over a full season, a good chunk over a full season. 279 batting average, pretty good for a power hitter.
Yep.
372 on base.
Really good.
Really good around the league. 543 slugging. Good. That's an OPS of 915. That's an all-star level baseball player. Last year, he led Major League Baseball in home runs on a day-to-day basis. He was kind of the most consistent guy. And yeah, man, I'm just excited to see it. You know, we've seen some Yankees lineups the past couple days, and where the Yankees have been at the past couple weeks is, you know, if they go put their full lineup out there, you're like, okay, this is a good lineup. You know, there should be 6 guys we kind of believe in.
There hasn't been.
When they rest a guy, then the lineup, like, it's been 5 guys you want to believe in, then they rest a guy, and then it's 4 guys, and then one of those guys is slumping. So you look back at the game, and you're like, okay, this lineup had 3 hitters.
Yeah.
So with a couple guys going now, with Glaber and Hicksy, Luke Voit back in the lineup, man, it gets you really excited. And, you know, we haven't even wrapped our heads around the fact that, like, you know, baseball's a fickle game. At some point, Guard Dog or Clint is going to start hitting. And now it looks like a real Yankees lineup. Higgy's been hitting, so he's a stud.
Well, once first base is solved, and give Voit a week or two. Like, let's all decide. No, we're not going to jump on his case. He's coming back.
He's
and
homering tonight, though.
Well, sure, but then he might,
Right.
you know, we'll see. The OBP might there, but not that, but or he might fires on all cylinders. Who knows? But in the long run, I got a lot of faith in Voit. I'm give him some wiggle room. I hope the fan base does the same. And then all our conversation will spin to left field. And it'll be like, are we the worst hitting left field in all of baseball?
Well, that's what we were wondering, and we'll see if there's any in there. But, yeah, kind of a funny conversation to be had. Like, if the Clint Gardy stuff drags out, it's like trading for an outfielder.
I have a theory.
This year.
I have a theory that Clint's bat, someone opposite have corked it. They corked it, but they didn't fill it in with anything, so it's just hollow.
It was corked. They removed it.
They removed the cork, and he doesn't know.
It's a hollow bat.
Did you see that? Like, he almost kind of squared one up, and it looked like a looper in front of the second baseman.
A little flume.
Like, how could that happen?
Yeah. Soft balls.
Softballs and a weird bat. He always calls you when Trevor Pluvis FaceTiming Jake. He always calls you when we're doing the show on this day.
It's just like, come on.
And he's going to get mad at you that you don't answer.
I work. Sorry about it.
All right, so Voigt's coming back, and I'm happy about that. And first baseman's been awful.
Yeah, and his defense hasn't been special, and he had the foot stuff last year. But kind of like we've said about Mike Ford, he's a guy that's practiced first base, which is kind of shocking. We have to say that on a Yankees podcast. But, his pick game isn't terrible. He does the Luke Voit underarm throw on a couple of those double plays. So that's
excited to see that again. God damn, I love that.
So, yeah,
And last year he took like a decided step forward on the defensive end. He's a tier above what like Ford is, which would be the best we've seen by a lot.
And that's when he had foot stuff too. So if he's looking a little healthier, DJ's going to be happier. He's playing second base. It's kind of the bullpen effect I talk about. Like, you stretch out the lineup a little bit, everyone's a little more comfortable.
Yep.
Let's get it going.
The only thing I think Voit lacks, and I don't even know if this is true compared to like numbers or whatever, is that the diving play towards second. Like, going towards the line and into foul territory, I can picture him making some good plays in the past. But it's that ball. But I don't even know.
Luke Voit backhand.
Yeah, I'm not even
I don't know if
positive.
that's in
I might be
the
talking
realm.
at my butt there. I was trying to imagine like plays.
Yeah.
Probably with it being DJ there too, who's like a good defender. I think the last couple years, I think the plan's been if it's not like within a step or two to your right, just let DJ get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
First base stuff.
Hold the phone.
Yeah.
So, you know I'm not a big Redditor.
Yep.
I Googled Luke Voit backhand.
Yeah.
No tennis results. It brought me to a Reddit thread, which, again, I don't know how to operate there. But someone said, does anyone have the Luke Voit backhand grab from today? And in the comments, here you go, a link to Big Baby David's Twitter.
Nice.
Spring training 2019. And it's not like diving. He just literally fields it backhanded. But hey, put on the board, yes.
Lasagna pitching.
What'd you just say?
Lasagna was pitching. All right, let's go into these trade rumors.
Ooh, know what I do recognize from this that I'm excited for, like the Luke Voit underarm throw? If he's taking it to first himself, he gives the glove up. I'm there.
He's like a
Dad's home.
He's like an energy, confidence, stature.
Yeah.
For the Yankees, which is kind of odd. Comes how his journey here, but he is.
He is.
All right, let's go to the voicemails.
Thanks, Katie Sharp.
Thank you, Katie Sharp. We
love you.
2 Rockies ones that we're going to lump together. So we're going to listen to 2 at once here.
Long-time listener and haven't really... Hey, JOMBOY and Jake, this is Justin from New York City. Long-time listener and haven't really called in before, but first I wanted to say I appreciate you guys putting out incredible Yankee content and all else you've done. It's been awesome to watch, so keep up the great work. Second, I know it's early, and usually I don't like to think about trades until around Memorial Day, but I'll throw out a name that I think will be around come the deadline. John Gray of the Colorado Rockies. I feel like he would be a great fit. Free agent next year, only making $6 million, and he's a former first-round pick, showing flashes of being a great pitcher. I just think he needs a change of scenery, just like any Colorado pitcher would. But what I like even more is the chance for Cashman to pull out some black magic, per se, and have Charlie Blackmon in the trade, too. He'd be a perfect fit for the Yankees. Only question is if they'll take on that salary or if Colorado would eat some of it. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks.
And the second Rockies call we have is...
Hey, JOMBOY, Jake, BBD. This is Mike from Chicago calling to play a little GM. Thinking here about pitchers Yankees get, but really about teams. Who's selling pitchers these days? And really the only team that for sure will be selling is the Rockies. They got Marquez at $7,800,000, Gray at $6 million, Freeland at $5 million, 25,000, all within that range. You know, all have been good at points in their career. I think those are the pitchers that I could see, but none of them really move the needle. I'd be interested in seeing if they could pull some sort of a move, maybe if they get rid of Gio, which will hurt, or see if they can really upgrade offensively as well with Story. I know they're not going to bust the salary cap for him, but hey, you never know. They need to make a move, and I'd like to see it.
Both those calls, I liked the first half, and then they completely lost me in the second half, but I think they themselves knew they were going a little...
They swung big.
Swung big at the end there.
They swung big.
So let's stay with John Gray.
Yeah, well, Chuck Nasty, Trevor Story, make way too much money. Not happening.
Not happening.
Done.
Yeah.
We can't.
It would be... Right, if it was to happen, I would be like, well, I'm glad I didn't think of it, because... how it would go down would be so chaotic and convoluted, and maybe 3 teams and so much eating money that, like, we're sticking to kind of simpler...
the fundamentals.
Fundamentals, yeah. And I think, Yankee fans need to, like, get rid of those expectations. Yeah. We're looking at a team that has not made a trade at the deadline 2 seasons in a row, and specifically left around $4 million, $5 million. What is it? I don't know.
Let's call it 5.
$5 million available, the way they did Wilson's contract, and they traded Otto for the deadline.
Yeah.
So that's what we're working with. If they expand behind that knowledge at the deadline, I won't be upset that we didn't do it here. John Gray's a very interesting case, Jake.
Yeah.
Has had one of the better sliders in the league for a while, and that's at Coors Field. Is making $6 million this year in his walk year. So that would prorate pretty well within range.
Right around there, yeah.
How do they get paid? Now, I'm not going to... how does it get prorated, I guess,
So
is my question.
It's through the year. So if you trade for someone at the start of the season, you pay their whole salary. If you trade for someone midway through the season, you get half their salary.
I guess my question was, is it by days on the roster, which I think it is? It'd be easier to do it by like games. If we were to just straight up say, okay, he makes $37,000.
I think for
out of 162, and then we take away 100 of those.
Gray fits. I think we can leave it at that.
He'd
for
fit
all
into
intents and
whatever.
perfect.
Per my math, we would get him for around 2.3 mil,
Perfect.
which don't trust that at all.
Perfect. No, and you shouldn't. But yeah, let's put him in the fits or doesn't fit category, and I think John Gray fits. So peeling back the layers of the onion here, we're dealing with Coors Field, so you kind of got to sift through a pile of crap to see what you've actually got. John Gray, in his career,
He's having a good season.
in kind of an interesting plot twist, he's kind of been the same at home as he has been on the road, which you don't see that from a lot of dudes who pitch at Coors Field. He is off to a great start this year. 4-2, a 3.12 ERA in 7 starts, a little under a strikeout per inning. It's an interesting case. This is a guy who will be rumored in a lot of trades, and it's kind of that timeline a lot of teams do like to make trades. Like you're getting the year and a half, you get your boost for the playoffs, and you can pencil him in the rotation next year.
His results from the season that Jake just said are good. 3.12 ERA in 7 starts. He's gone 6 innings in 5 out of his 7 starts, and his peripherals are just as good. He's top of the league this season right now in barrel percentage. He's upped his slider usage a ton, and no one's hitting the slider. It's got a 151 expected batting average and a 229 expected slugging. Yeah, he's definitely someone that if the Rockies are moving, he will be shopped because he's cheap and good. Now, the problem is there's going to be a lot of teams, and another conversation I will have at a later date, I guess, is like, do the Yankees have prospect capital to move? Or are they willing to part with people? I guess we'll save that. We'll get a list of guys, and then in like 2 weeks, we'll be like, all right, what? Because we haven't even had minor league baseball
They
yet.
still options for us.
Yeah. I do think, we will, another episode, I do like diving into that a little further. I would say from what John Gray shows on paper, the Yankees could put something together pretty easily. Like, we don't have to.
He's had some year-to-year volatility that I think would help
No
the
Martian.
Yankees for facilitating a trade.
No, it's just a rental, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't be crazy. We've seen rentals go for less than
Yeah.
people expect all the time. So
Well, you get the extra year, too. So it's a little past a rental.
what year?
Is there an option? Did I miss
No,
that?
he's just a free agent in 2022.
Oh, this is it? I thought it was a half year and a bonus.
No, you just get him for the next.
Gotcha.
You get him
Okay,
for the
then
end
yeah,
of the
does
season.
make it easy.
Then very much in the realm.
Yeah.
People might point to like 2020 down here. He's already passed the 2020 innings count he did last year. So
Yeah.
like I don't care.
I like that option. Great. Everyone put him on your mental radar
Done.
when
On the list.
When Yes Network, they do like around the league. If you see John Gray, perk up. He is an option that Cashman and his group were probably kind of looking at.
I feel like every offseason he's always one of the people that gets like, oh, they should trade for that guy. So
Yeah.
He's been rumored for a lot of teams.
All right, let's keep going.
Did they mention Marquez? Or are we
Hey,
doing
John
that?
Boy.
That was the second call, no?
The first guy, yeah, they mentioned a lot of Rockies. Marquez, it's too much for me. He's got 3 years left, and he makes $15 million in 2023, $11 million in 2022.
It would be a bigger package.
Yeah.
John Gray would be a lot more feasible as of now.
Yeah. All right. Next up.
Hey, John Boy and Jake. This is Drake from Clemson, South Carolina. I'm a math major, so I felt the responsibility to make a case for an intriguing southpaw who I think is very underrated. I'm talking about Alex Wood. He's on a 1-year, $3 million deal with the Giants and has been pitching well so far. 2 reasons I like Alex Wood. First, his postseason experience. He's pitched in 3 of the last 4 World Series and has an ERA of 1.93 in the World Series. Second, he's a lefty sinker baller that has a below-average fly ball rate for his career, which bodes well for pitching at the stadium. A couple risks is that he's been somewhat injury-prone recently and has only faced the Marlins and the Rockies so far this season. but he's had success in the past. And if you don't count his injury-shortened 19 and 20 season, he has an ERA of 3.29 and his home runs per nine is 0.8. Also, I like his herky-jerky delivery. So what do you guys think? Go Yanks.
Okay, we do have another Giants call, I believe, but it's not.
You don't need to play him back-to-back.
Okay. I mean, right away, the Giants, we don't know if they're trading people. They're currently first in their division and playing really well. And, with two wild card teams and that team being as dedicated to their city as they are, right now I don't expect them. They'd have to fall. They just beat the Padres. The Dodgers are on a slide. So before you even put like Alex Wood on your radar, you just need to put the Giants as a whole on your radar, and they need to really start losing games or really be sold on a package of people that can help them win now. They already have Tyro and they already have Talkman. So the Cashman's in touch. They are having conversations. But so I kind of balk at it already because of that. Now, if they were tanking or doing bad or trading, if things do fall apart, the money on Alex Wood makes a lot of sense. He's only making $3 million. And you cut that in a third or a half or whatever. You're there easily.
We're home. Money-wise makes sense. The Giants, like you're saying, that the Giants are the story here. And they should be an interesting team in baseball. They have gone off to a great start. The Dodgers obviously went in a funk. Nobody believes in the Giants. Like, sorry to all our Giants fans tuning in to Talkin Yanks, but you just got to be honest with yourself. Everyone loves the Dodgers. Everyone loves the Padres. It's how real do they become, and are they around that wild card? And like Jimmy said, this is a franchise that kind of showed they won't go full punt. If they can be semi-competitive, they like playing that game, which is good. And it's crazy we have to say that about franchises, but right now they're doing it kind of on both sides of the ball, but all of their pitching. Let's say they do tank. I think he would be on the table. It would be a very interesting guy to circle because
this would be my secondary piece. Like, I think if the Yankees picked him up, he doesn't go straight to the rotation, or if he does, it's a couple spot starts. And the playoff
That's tough, Jimbo.
The playoff plan is a lefty bolt guy or a long guy.
His numbers are really good.
Yeah, again, that guy said it. He's pitched against the Marlins, the Rockies, the Rangers.
I'm talking about his career. Career 3.39 ERA, Jim. This guy's had a really sneaky good baseball career. And he was on some of those good Dodgers teams, and that's why I actually like him as an option more, is that he does have playoff experience starting and coming out of the bullpen. So he gives you a little more flex, where, say, if John Gray comes over and he kind of schmits the bed a little bit, like another Gray we traded for at a deadline, then, like, Alex Wood has another option. So I think that is really intriguing.
I think the Giants would have to get like bad kind of quick because they're holding on, and if they're close to competing, I don't think he by himself gets a big enough package. It's like worth them getting a little worse. So I don't think you're not going to get a monster return for him because he's a $3 million rental, but
yeah. I mean,
it's like if they're close to competing, I don't think they want to get.
You got to remember, there's no waiver wire, so there's no deals to be made in August anymore. And more teams make the playoffs now than don't make it. So more teams are looking for players than are selling players. And you don't get that August waiver wire deal anymore. So that you can't, wait. But
right now, I think he's kind of off the radar. Like, the Giants have to put these guys on the radar.
Yeah, I don't.
And as of right now, they're not
That's why I'm saying watch the Giants before you watch the Wood.
Yeah.
All right. Next up.
I like the name, though. Good call.
Hey guys, this is Sam. I put together a list of 5 guys that I think are potentially gettable and all have contracts of $6 million or less, at least one more year of team control. First one is Jose Barrios in Minnesota. Their season continues to go south, and maybe they'd be interested in changing things up. Barrios, obviously a big name, has really good stuff and is pretty reliable. Has a really good changeup that Matt Blake could get him to throw more. So it's Luis Castillo, who's been struggling pretty badly so far this season, but we know the Yankees have sniffed around him before. Third option is Kyle Freeland from Colorado. He hasn't pitched this year due to a shoulder injury, but is on one of the only clear-cut rebuilding teams in baseball. A couple position players. Ketel Marte from Arizona is on a really team-friendly contract. Switch hitter could play center field, second base, or shortstop. Give us a different look than the rest of the team. And then Jesse Rankler for the Reds wouldn't fix any defensive problems in the outfield, but he would provide a lefty matcher who could platoon with Clint if need be. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
I appreciate the call as always.
Thank you.
I don't think I like a single one of those 5 names. Jake, do you? Can't do Barrios. You can't do Barrios because if you start him in a playoff game and he sucks, it's kind of like, well, what did you expect?
And the Twins love Barrios. They love him. So, like, that's a prospect package that, again, we start getting into deep cuts Yankee land that I think you'd have to pay. Like,
because he's got a year attached. It's not a straight rental.
The Minnesota Twins see Barrios as their 26. He turns 27 May 27th. So it's his golden birthday.
Hell yeah.
So that's huge. Barrios is a 2-time All-Star. He's having a solid start this year, a couple good starts. He could be a 3-time 27-year-old All-Star that they've always thought is going to take the next jump. And he's been good. The playoff performances hasn't been great. It's actually outside of his first Yankees start, it's been better. 3 games, 12 innings, a 3.75 ERA. It's not the hugest sample size. I don't know. I mean, the Twins are going to be an interesting team. We talked about it on Talkin' Baseball a little bit. If they really don't get the engine going, they're not a huge market team. They've got some older guys on that team. It's an interesting conversation. I just don't think it's around Barrios.
The Twins, and they think of him like we think of Sevy. They may even higher, lower. I don't know, but they have been so bad. I think he's still part of their future plans. It's just
they love him.
I
don't think it's on the table.
I would have to see it to believe it.
The other name he said was Luis Castillo, who's been linked forever. He's got $4.2 million for this season, so it'd be cheap within range. He's got 2 years afterwards that are arbitration controlled. He's having a tough start to the year right now, pretty brutal start to the year. He's allowed 4 or more runs in 4 starts, and he's only had 1 what I would consider a good start. And I just don't expect the Reds to sell low on him because they've been holding those chips for so long that I don't expect them. He's got 2 more years. He could have a really good start to the next year, or in the off season if he has a good August, September. Then in the off season they could trade 2 full years of him. So I just don't expect them to move him at the deadline and sell low. Maybe the Reds would. I would advise against it.
It'd have to be a weird pattern of him turning it around, which, again, would mean he'd cost kind of ace prospect package, which I think Yankees and Cincy have discussed. Remember all those trade rumors you heard that they'd want Gleyber Torres that pissed everyone off? That's where we're at. So, no, I think he's got to be off the board now. Freeland, another Rockies starting pitcher, let's see him come back and pitch. That guy's had some highs and lows in his MLB career. I don't think that gets anyone too excited. And Ketel Marte and Jesse Winker, Winker is kind of an underrated hitter around baseball that we haven't stumbled into, and I don't think it's just a fit on the Yankees. And you'd have to pay a price tag. Same with Ketel Marte. So I just don't. Thank you for calling.
Yeah,
a lot of tough fits.
Yeah,
a lot of not good mental math.
Yeah. All right. Next up.
Hey, John Boy and Jake. This is Buzza Wuzza from Phoenix, Arizona.
Buzza Wuzza?
I love the show. Been listening for a while. The guy we should trade for is Caleb Smith, the left-hander who came out of our own system. This is a guy who just kind of has been bouncing around a little bit, but we could bring him back here. We never should have traded him away. Never trade away young left-handed pitching. Just don't do it. It's a big mistake. Anyway, let's go Yanks.
He gets it.
Love that call.
That guy gets it.
Caleb Smith. Man, yeah.
Your guy.
Made a start in, I want to say Milwaukee, right after they traded for Canely, or Minnesota, right after they traded for Canely and Frazier and all them. I think Caleb Smith started a game around there. Then they traded him. Did they trade him for Koopaloop, or did he get traded for Koopaloop?
With Cooper for Michael King.
Okay.
About that. Yeah, and that's again, that was one of the more perfect calls I've seen. Caleb Smith has basically been turned into a reliever. 13 games this year. He has 1 start. And it kind of makes sense if you remember some of the Caleb Smith stuff we saw with the Yankees and then in Miami. He didn't really have a third pitch. So lefty Caleb Smith out of the bullpen has been pretty solid for the past 2 seasons, but it's kind of not the impact piece we're looking for. I mean,
But what if he is a secondary trade? Like, what if they're looking for? What if Litke goes back into a pumpkin? Wandy, they're not in love with, and Wilson stays. He's got 2 years. Is there any way that he's so cheap?
it'd be really odd, man. I mean, I think you're taking a
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Like
Wandy Peralta and Lucas Litke, what those guys have shown. There's no promise Caleb Smith comes in and is the solution.
Yeah, he's not even a high leverage guy for the D-backs right now.
I mean his FIP isn't that good, which
they'd have to really believe
he's a FIP guy.
that for the next couple of years they could use him somewhere. But they kind of just got Caleb Smith and Wandy Peralta.
Yeah,
Like they have Wandy for the next 2 years, right?
Yeah,
And he costs maybe more, but
Caleb.
yeah, it kind of seems like he's the same player that they just got in Wandy. 2 years of control, lefty reliever.
With lower upside.
Yeah,
if
with
we're
lower
being
upside.
honest.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. I like the call. I like the thought process.
Yeah.
Money works.
We wanted to just
Money
bounce
works.
around and look at players and
Thank
do
you.
this. All right, here's the next one.
Hello, boys. This is Jeremy from California, following up on your request for potential pitchers to trade for. Now, who I'm thinking, hear me out, Kansas City Royals, Danny Duffy. Now, it's on the line. He's having a really good year. Kansas City, by June, July, maybe they're not doing as well. His luxury tax salary for the year is $13 million. Half of that is $6.5. Maybe they get a little bit strategic with who they offer for him. He's walking as a free agent after the year. Something to think about. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Danny Duffy's having a really good season. And I remember Danny Duffy, the Yankees went to town in 2018 or 2016 when Danny Duffy was having like just an awful time. I think it was 2018. I believe Romine popped him twice in the game. He just got kind of lit up, and in his post-game press conference, he just ate it, and it was like, I'm not going to go on the Phantom DL. What am I going to do? I'm going to pitch through it. So I've always liked Danny Duffy for that post-game press conference because he's had good. He was really bad that year, and I liked him for that. And now I was really happy to see Hicks had an inside-the-park homer on him. Glaber had a home run on him. And then Gary hit a homer off Birch Smith. Hilarious.
Come on.
And then Gary hit another homer. Anyway, so it was the other catcher who went
It's
deep.
not a name we say on here.
No.
You got to know that.
Danny Duffy's having a really good year. The money doesn't add up perfectly. So some of these other guys we've said, even without their team eating it, John Gray fits and leaves them a little wiggle room. Whereas Danny Duffy, if they do it, the Royals would have to eat money. And again, this is like the Giants. The Royals are a really good team right now. They're in first place in their division, and we have no idea.
They've started skidding.
They have?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Royals have started skidding. The White Sox have kind of flown past them. And, you wonder if it's pumpkin time or what's going on with Kansas City. So the Royals, a lot easier than the Giants, could fall out of this, and we could be talking about them at the trade deadline. The money, like you're saying, is just kind of out of that threshold. The Royals would have to eat some, which means the Yankees would have to pay more in prospect capital than probably another team.
Or the Yankees could trade someone off the 40-man.
Send someone with a little bit of salary back.
There's not a ton. Like BBD, you brought it up, and I credit to you. Like if Justin Wilson doesn't turn things around, there's a chunk of salary that can fill in a trade buffer, but that's still not a ton. Like look what we're doing here. Danny Duffy is making $15.5. If the Yankees do it right at the trade deadline, we're talking about $6.5 million. So Justin Wilson and his $3 million or however the funky contract comes out,
It would get you there, but
it's
it
only
going
to be like $1 million coming off, and that would be Justin Wilson not being successful, and we're potentially opening up a spot in our pen. And if Justin Wilson's not good, that means we're trading him, which means that would, again, add more prospect capital because Justin Wilson as a piece going back wouldn't be beneficial. Yeah. So, and it's what's your value, man? Because Danny Duffy has been so good this year that I don't know. If he continues at this pace for a rental, I don't know. That's really weird to see how a team like the Royals would value him.
He's played some good lineups, too.
And he's a guy who's been in Kansas City for 11 years.
Angels, Rays, Twins.
Royals are a sneaky, proud organization, too. I mean, do you trade Danny Duffy at the deadline for, 2 flyer prospects? I don't know.
I think you do. I just don't think that it's the Yankees. I don't think it fits a trade for the Yankees. I think it fits a trade for another team. But, I mean, they're going to get – he's a trade radar guy. I just don't know if he fits the Yankees. Okay. Like, in the league, I think they'll be getting calls.
He's like the first name we've come across that we like, but you can't do it without getting creative.
It's borderline. He's on deck. Like, let's see the Royals fall out a little more.
So check in next month with where the Royals are.
Firmly on there.
Mm-hmm.
May 11th, he leads baseball in ERA.
He is pitching better than all of his expected right now. But, I mean, his numbers.
The expected numbers, I think, are also good.
They're good. Yeah. His results are amazing right now.
Incredible, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe someone said, like, the Blue Jays for him. Like, I could see somehow that working out. There's a lot of teams that need pitchers. And, dude, the Yankees might not even need that many starting pitchers, but that's me getting irrationally happy after 6 good games.
Yeah, and I mean, he's used to wearing, like, a lot of blue.
It's true. And royal
That's
blue.
why the Blue Jays thing makes more sense.
It does.
I can see it already.
I like the call. He's a good guy that we need to talk about. We also need to talk about DraftKings a little bit. They got UFC 262 card, Nate Diaz to Michael Chandler. There will be no shortage of action. You get 100 to 1 odds. Choose a fighter. If they walk away with the belt, you will be walking away with cash. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOMBOY when you sign up to turn $1 into $100 when you bet on a main card fighter to win. Place your bet and watch the fists fly this weekend. That's code JOMBOY to turn $1 into $100 on select main card fighters for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or PA only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Bet on a fighter. You get $100 in free bets. You place them on the Yankees over-under. You enjoy the games a touch more because you got something riding on. Or, place on the Yankees to win because we all just want to root for the Yankees. And you don't want to be rooting against the Yankees because that hurts the over-under. So just place on the Yankees to win. And they're going to go on to win a ton of games. So how about that?
Go Yankees.
Next call.
Hey, how's it going, boys? One pitcher I wanted to hear your take on is JT Brubaker of the Pirates. He's got one of the best ground ball to fly ball ratios right now. He's among Ian Anderson, Marcus Stroman, Dallas Keuchel. His ERAs are around 2.7. He costs under $600,000. Strikes out guys, and he doesn't walk guys either. Another dude would be Alex Wood, though he might be harder to get, but he's making about $3 million and having a pretty good bounce back year on the Giants. So looking forward to hear your thoughts.
Did he call him Corkle? Did I hear that
There
wrong?
was a nice accent.
Was it Dallas Corkle? Because that's funny. I might steal that.
I don't think it was full Corkle, but it was around it. It was a good accent through now.
His ERAs are around 2.7. Ian Anderson, Marcus Stroman, Dallas Keuchel.
It's good. I might steal that.
It's a good accent. JT Brubaker, here's your problem. I mean, this is his second season in the league, and he has looked pretty solid for the Pirates. The Pirates aren't going to trade away. I mean, this guy wouldn't hit free agency until ever. Like
he doesn't hit arbitration for 2 more years.
Yeah, so the Pirates.
He's not even on their website.
Yeah, they don't even list it. I think he might have signed a lifetime contract with the Pirates.
I mean, you'd have to give up. No.
Yeah, it just the Pirates. The Pirates in their head have a 3-year plan, and JT Brubaker's probably a part of it. So it's just I don't think it's a fit.
You'd be getting him for 5 seasons.
Yeah.
With 3 options.
And the Pirates probably are excited about him and think he's good right now. So I don't think that's a fit.
Yeah, it doesn't fully line up. He's just old enough that you're not buying youth, but he's young enough. They're factoring him in. And he's
The
like,
Pirates
you know,
are.
the
yes.
the Pirates are factoring.
He's out for now. Done.
Okay.
No JT Brubaker.
Numbers are cool.
Good for him.
Let's go to this call.
What's up, boys? Here are some realistic trade ideas. I'll start with the pitchers. We got German Marquez making $8.6 million, Kevin Gausman making $9 million, Dylan Bundy $8.3 million, Kyle Gibson $9.3 million, Wade Miley $7.5 million. I would say John Means, but he's got 3 years of arbitration left, and it'd take a huge package. Doubt the Orioles would do it. Outside of pitchers, here are two I like a lot. If Clint and Hicks continue to struggle like they have, Joey Gallo. Take a huge package, sure. He's making less than $1 million, but God, that left-handed swing would crush in Yankee Stadium. And I think he'd just be a great clubhouse guy. Last one, Freddie Galvis, $1.5 million salary. And, we need a true shortstop backup, someone who's better than Wade, and he's had a nice year. All right, guys. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. I really wasn't into not doing pitchers because I think that's more dependent on who gets hurt. But
Yeah. Galvis, we both like Freddie Galvis.
no, that kind of woke me up at the end there. I'm like, oh, they traded for Adechi,
Danny
Echeverria. I mixed the two names there, and we kind of were like,
We
wait,
loved
what?
him.
And then he
Fun.
made a really good play,
Yeah.
and we were blind to how bad Andujar was, and the Yankees weren't blind to how bad Andujar was at the end of that season. There, we were a little blinded, like we didn't realize it was like a problem.
Yeah, we knew it wasn't good.
Yeah. But like in the moment,
And
we were comfortable letting it ride.
part of it was Danny Echeverria was also special defensively. He's a
Yeah,
guy
well, we
that's
also
in
came from
league-
Chase Headley, so we
in his league
we were
for-
groomed
in
to
this
not.
league to play defense.
We're expecting good third base play.
Freddie Galvis, I mean, as like a backup shortstop option for the postseason, like
It's not insane.
That's not an insane thought process. It would be similar to like a Danny Echeverria. As like, yeah, he's a bench guy. It probably better than Wade off the bench.
He's a nice option if you're
assume.
trying to just get ahead of injury insurance stuff. Even
Yeah.
if an injury doesn't happen between now and then, I assume his salary's not crazy.
Joey Gallo, let's rule out for now. I mean, that would be an absolute blockbuster. I mean, Texas Rangers think he's a cornerstone of their franchise. He's like their judge. Gallo ain't happening.
There's
in this
like been
exercise.
rumors with him before. Look, monitor it is fair enough, but
I don't even think you can.
yeah,
Even if
He's their
available.
franchise
past
right
years.
now. He's their franchise right now. He's
But-
everything to them.
He's also, when they traded for Stanton, it was like, well, we got Judge. Now we got two right fielders that mash. And then you trade for Gallo, and it's like, okay, well, now we got 3 career right fielders who just hit bombs and strike out a lot. Like, it would go against any semblance of balance.
Yeah, I mean, there's a world where they throw Gallo in left field. He's a pretty good defender. He won the Gold Glove last year. He's got speed, but I just don't think we can enter that realm.
I think he's the same. No, never mind.
I was reading like a nerd article,
There's a
and I
Scott
forget what the
Boras
numbers
guy, too,
were
so.
that were like I was just surprised. I was taken aback by the defensive metrics. I forget what they were. But
No, he's
he
like
grades
a
out well.
It's probably how people look at Judge.
I
when
think
they
you were
find out
thinking
he's good.
Judgy. Yeah, there's like he's got some speed to him for a big boy, 6'5", 250.
I think there was a reason like he played more center field than any other position like 3 years ago, which is 3 years ago. But
85% in outfield jump, so that's huge. No Joey Gallo right now. Who I do like on Texas Rangers and very biased is Kyle Gibson, who's been lights out this year. And full disclosure, he's been really nice to us as a company, and he's good friends with Trevor Plouffe. He's been dialed in this year, 8 starts at 2.28. The money would be tight. I think they can make it work. He's listed at 9.6 salary this year. So if you chop that in half and a little more towards the deadline, it'd be tight. And he is on the book for next year for 7.6.
Yeah, that's
so.
And you're losing Kluber's $11 million for next year unless you want him to come back. And that is the most interesting one we've had that has a second year attached to him. Right?
Yeah, and again,
But the Yankees aren't losing. Not a lot of money's coming off the books for him next year.
It's the other part is the Texas Rangers. I know in our heads they were expected to be one of the worst teams this year. They're around 500. They might be a game above after last night. That they'd have to fall out like officially.
The Yankees reset the tax, right? This year?
Last
Well, you have to get through this year. They will be.
So
they
next
will
year
reset
they can
it.
go over.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
So
God
that
we
opens
don't
up
play
some
this
things.
fucking game
Yeah.
anymore.
And who knows what the CBA even looks like, but yeah.
Because I'm looking at the Yankees payroll for next year, and if they were trying to stay under again, like they'd have to trade big people.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of big moves. Because
Yeah.
everyone, the only person that's coming off the books right now is Corey Kluber.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is on.
I think after next
And
year,
you got-
is when they lose like a good amount of payroll stuff. But
And Judge is probably going to jump up from 10 to 16 million. So I'm glad they are resetting, I guess. Whatever.
all the ARB guys will kind of fill the Kluber gap themselves. Just with
Yeah.
raises.
All right. The other people we have here, there's a couple voicemails. Like there's one for Zach Gallen, and like, oh my God, I'm not going to play that
No.
because I don't think you understand how much you'd have to give up for him. He's got like 5 years left, and he's one of the best starting pitchers to ever start their career in the history of baseball.
Stay away from my snakes.
Someone said, what about Gardy? Gardy's not coming off the books next year. He might not be playing next year, but they have to pay him at minimum $2,300,000. Yeah.
Trying to remember how, because I think his luxury tax would get backdated, so I think for next year he's effectively not part of the luxury tax plan. But
Flying over the cap.
Yeah.
They're not
We're over
worried
it.
about it next year. I
We're
don't
over it.
think.
And then the only call is on, let's see this one.
Hey, just had a thought. We're having problems at both catcher and left field. What if we put together a deal with the Cubs for Wilson Contreras? Maybe send Gary the other way. Contreras, of course, wants a long-term contract. We need to figure out catcher and left field. Contreras plays both. Might be worth it. Go Yanks.
Go Yanks, babe. Yeah, I don't know. One, like the call. You're thinking. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Can I jump in?
Yeah.
This is a Yankees podcast, Yankees fans, right?
Yes, this is a good point.
Can I tell you where the Yankees' production this season by catcher lands them?
I
What
would.
stat do you want? Do you want WAR?
I would love to hear where the Yankees catcher production stats land this year.
WAR? They're
Sure.
third in the league.
Bang.
There are only 2 teams that have a better catcher WAR than the Yankees. A lot of times, baseball's a regional sport, and you don't check what's going on around the league. Guys, catcher is a pitcher for a majority of teams out there.
Yeah.
So Higgy and Gary combined are the third best catching duo in the league.
Yeah.
Not the A or in the not the AL, not the NL, in all
Baseball.
30 teams. So you can't call in and say we're hurting at catcher.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to switch to more results-based OPS, so just offensively,
Offense alone.
no defensive WAR, just offense, 8th. Still top 10. 8 out of 30 teams. 22 teams are hurting worse than the Yankees from an offensive catcher standpoint. So we get very blinded when you just follow one team, and we've been saying this since we started the podcast. Guys, catchers don't hit. Catchers do not hit. The average OPS for a catcher is 688. That's a bad OPS. Catchers don't hit. So the Yankees don't have a catcher problem right now. I know it seems like it, but being very honest with you, they don't. They may trade for Contreras if they want, like, the best.
That's where I was going, Jim, was, and I thought you were heading this way with the Yankee fandom stuff, was things would have to go awry. Like, this fella thinks things are awry with the catching situation now. Like, no. Like, wheels would have to fall off from where we currently are to have this be a conversation. So no, I don't think it's addressed now because we are also a Yankees podcast and we will either believe in Higgy or believe in Gary until they give us full reason not to.
Yeah.
That'd be like injury stuff.
What is Contreras' contract in like numbers? He's got. I
Mickey
mean,
and Gary are
dude,
comparable.
if like, let me check something real quick.
Okay. Like here's an example. What did you say the league average for catcher OPS was? 688.
Yeah.
Gary this year, who Gary
He's
Sanchez.
looked bad. Well, Gary's looked bad. Higgy's carrying the tandem right
Gary's looked bad. He has a 656 OPS. That's right around the average for catchers. And Gary's looked bad. Like, you need to process
Yeah, so
that.
how bad Gary's looked, and Gary has looked bad.
You need to process
That's normal. That's the baseline for all 30 teams. Catchers don't hit. Like, we might be 10 years from now, and there might be 2 DHs and 1 for a catcher. Because the production is getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse every year.
No catchers.
There's
a world where Grandpa Jim, Jake, and BBD are like, remember when catchers were
and
out
like
there?
this line is bad, but Wilson Contreras right now has a 208 batting average, a 317 on base percentage, and a 752 OPS. If Gary had that slash line, people would be calling in and complaining.
Does.
Yeah. So, Gary sucks this season, and so does every catcher besides JT Realmuto.
Bang.
Grandal's got a great on base percentage. Salvi Perez is having a great year.
It's phenomenal.
Other than that,
So who are we
Carson
leaving?
Kelly's having a good year.
Go Snakes. Who are we leaving on our list to follow up on? A couple of the Rockies pitchers, because they will be sellers.
John Gray is my favorite. Gibby, because he's got that second year. They'd have to get a little creative, and I don't know the
Texas should fall out.
Yeah, they're out.
They
already
should
in
fall
my
out.
head. Yeah.
Should Duffy be our 3 hitter right now?
I'm interested on him in general, just like from
Yeah.
a talking baseball standpoint. I'm kind of want to track him. The other guy that we didn't mention was like Bundy.
Yeah, I was surprised there was no angel callers.
Someone said Bundy.
Oh, someone called in and said Bundy?
Yeah, that guy who gave Gibby and Miley and Marquez, he said
Okay.
Bundy as well.
Yeah, Bundy had one blow-up start the other day, which no comment.
And Posey. Everyone gets mad when I forget about Posey, but
Right.
for some reason he doesn't come up on the searches. But yeah, Buster Posey's been good as well.
It's been really good. I think Dylan Bundy would be a guy to circle and put on this list. He's making $8 million this year. Last year, Angels as a franchise have had a good tradition of stinking. I think him, a couple of their pitchers on their staff, if Quintana figures it out. For me, it would be just full circle after one of my first national baseball reporter stances was Dylan Bundy's bad. And then he was really good last year. So, I would probably have him as my, if we're just making a list of what to watch, it's like Rockies, Kyle Gibson, Dylan Bundy.
Yeah, the guy who made me want to do this, Urania, he wasn't mentioned. He's making 3.2 this year, and having a good-ish season as of now for the Tigers, who are definitely going to move anyone they could possibly move.
Right.
Get anything valuable.
Like anything. And yeah, he hasn't given up more than 2 runs in his last 6 starts. He had a bad first start of the season. He didn't make it deep versus the Twins last game, but he didn't allow a lot of damage, and he would be, in that 1 point something range. Like if they wanted to take 2 and they get John Gray and Urania,
He's a 2,
and slide someone to the bullpen or a bulk guy, like he's a 2 option there.
Yeah, he's there's risk there of him just not being good. I mean, he's a guy that the Marlins decided to just let go instead of paying him $3 million. So yeah, he's a guy that could definitely be on the move because of how bad the Tigers are. But yeah, if he was the move, that would be problematic.
Boyd, is he still having a good year? My version of Dylan Bundy.
Boyd.
Because he's got a year of ARB left after this, so you'd be getting for him and another year. He's a lefty.
been good.
And yeah, he's having a good season still.
But again, that would come with a price tag.
It feels like the time for him to finally make the move there because you
Did he just get
traded
hurt?
for 2?
He only pitched
Maybe.
34 pitches in his last game.
No. Tell me it rained.
Exits with left knee tendonitis.
Damn it.
Monitor that.
So monitor that, I guess.
I guess keep an eye on the Giants. I would imagine they kind of just go for it this year, but they have the Dodgers and Padres in their division, so they can fall out.
Trade deadline
for sure.
sneaks up on you.
I've got Alex Wood on deck.
Okay.
If the Giants fall out.
John
They fall out
Gray,
like that.
John Gray, Alex Wood, Gibson, Urania, and Boyd, kind of.
Bundy.
Those are kind of the pitchers that. And then, for defensive players, we got some, or offensive or position players. Depends on injury more than anything else.
Yeah, you almost
Need a hole to open up.
if there's
I'll tell you that if Clint and Gardner, if
Yeah.
neither of them start hitting, Gardner will just be the left fielder in the postseason, and they will run with the long at bats, the speed on the base paths, and the plus defense, and say shrug on the offense.
Might run into one. So.
Same thing they did last year.
it could become an interesting conversation.
If Gardy's really bad, I mean, they did
If
go get
they're
McCutch one
both
year.
bad through the deadline, perfect example. I think that could come into play. Guys, how about don't? Be good. We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
You can make it easy.
All right. Thank you guys very much for calling in. Guess the lineup today. Let's see. DJ LeMahieu leading off.
Yep.
Stan batting second.
Yes.
Judge batting third.
Yes.
Let's throw Voit right the fuck in there. Batting
Love it.
fourth. Let's go Geo 5.
Okay.
Throw Hicks to split it up.
Yeah.
That would push Glaber down to 7.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, it's
or you can
nice.
go Glaber 5, Geo 7.
Almost like that.
One of those two.
Yeah.
Because they're going to want to split Hicks up in the middle there a little bit.
Higgy.
And then you have Higgy 8th and Clint 9th. Something like that.
I like that.
That should be a nice lineup. It just depends
Yeah.
on.
Gary and Gio, I think, is the flip. 5 and 7. Don't know who's there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be harder to imagine them bumping Glaber
Who's
to
pitching?
7 than
Oh,
Gio
it's-
Patino
well,
tonight.
Okay, they're going opener to bullpen, so maybe you have Gardy over Clint because they want to have more balance when it's going to be a bunch of relievers and mix and match, and they're going to try and play the Rays game. So they may try to throw Hicks and Gardy in there, and if that's the case, I think they would slide Hicks up to 5 and Gardy 8.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think you save Gardy for defense late, and if the Rays try to throw a righty at the end of the lineup for Higgy/Gary Clint, then you could go guard dog.
Yeah,
I could see it either way.
I could see it either way. The Yankees kind of play in fear of the Rays.
See you guys. Come to the pregame show in a little bit.
Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.